welcome back to Scarlet Rage Vintage YouTube channel. And to my, here should I say, is Liz Tregenza, who you might have seen from previous videos. Well, those videos did so well that we had to bring her back, and I'm so happy that she is back because it's like having my bestie in the room. So today we're going to do a video based around something that me and Liz kind of know quite a few things about, which is vintage designer Lilli Ann. It was started by designer Adolf Schulman in 1933. The company was named after his wife Lilli Ann.
I don't know exactly how he started it. I mean, I know that he was the son of a Hungarian truck driver.
Hey.
So, and he was Jewish, as most of the fashion industry was at that time.
Yeah.
So you can, I'm guessing there was probably some kind of familiar connection. That seems to be how a lot of firms started up in that period. So.
Yeah, because Lilli Ann, if you didn't know, is quite a collector's piece now. I mean, there was a height last year where the prices of Lilli Ann went absolutely sky high.
So the company was, as Jade said, started by Adolf Schulman, and he wasn't a designer really. He was a businessman first and foremost. And you often have this with sort of companies. You have sort of the male impresario of the company, and it's always females designing it. Now, his wife did say that she was the company's first designer, but there's not really any concrete evidence on that.
Okay.
So it's unlikely she actually was. There was a period in the early 1940s, there was a label called, said California Original, and I think it said designed by Jean. And this was a lady called Jean Wright Miller, I think. And anyway, she was the first company's big designer, certainly, and she was designing from the early 40s through to the early 50s, and that was kind of like the earlier, quite military styled Lilli Ann.
Yeah.
And also this early period, this is where you get, it's like a black label with white writing on it.
Yes, I've heard that.
That's the really early one. Then from, I think it's from about 52, 53, it was a lady called, I think it was Billie Jean Duggan.
Good name.
And she was then the designer that did the really, what I think are the particularly iconic Lilli Anns, which is those really sharp waisted suits with peplum.
Yes.
The really sculptural stuff is hers, and she was with the company for about 15 years.
Oh wow.
So for quite a long time she was the designer. Also, I think the big thing about Lilli Ann is the advertising. Like, the advertising was so big, and I mean, the model Dorian Lee is the one who wore most of the Lilli Ann, and she had this just sort of amazing, sort of polished, quite Parisian look.
I always get very confused because with Lilli Ann, he obviously had Paris on his labels.
Yeah.
But he was predominantly, you see a lot of his stock in America.
Yeah.
So was he a European designer or was he an American designer? Because that's where I get confused. Because sometimes I think to myself, hold on, he's got the Parisian, and then sometimes you see San Francisco.
Yeah, well, it's a San Francisco label. There was definitely two factories. There might have been more, but there was a factory in San Francisco. Right. Then there was one in Los Angeles as well.
Okay.
So that's where they're all being manufactured, but the fabrics used were largely European, because the quality of European fabric at that time was largely better than what you could get in the US.
Yeah, because he helped a lot of European factories from being broke after World War II.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he came and he purchased a lot of dead stock fabric.
Yeah, in such a global economy that we have now, it's perhaps difficult to recognise the power that the name Paris had then.
Yeah.
I think it had so much more significance, and, you know, for American buyers particularly, the idea of European elegance, it was something so marketable. So having that Paris fabric, I think the big thing about Lilli Ann that some people might not realise is quite how expensive it was new. Like, the prices were crazy. So on average, a Lilli Ann in the mid-50s would cost you about $100.
Wow, so what's that now? That must be...
I can only do it dollar to dollar, but I think that's just under $1,000.
Whoa!
Yeah. So they're not... In theory, you're actually paying less for them than they would have cost new.
Probably. I always have to say, the cut and the style of a Lilli Ann is none to other on any other sort of design. Obviously, Adrian, he's amazing on his cuts, but if you have a Lilli Ann, you can see a woman is wearing a Lilli Ann because the way it's form-fitting to her shape is just, it's beautiful.
I must say, like, having collected different, like, sort of garments from different countries, often American stuff does lack a little bit in quality. That's the general thing. It's just not finished as nicely. That's the difference between buying sort of American and European. Lilli Ann is the complete exception to the rule.
Yes, it
They
is.
are so beautifully made inside and out.
Well, you'll never see the inside stitching because there's beautiful immaculate lining.
Yeah.
And just the way, the little pops of detail. I also have to. They're big things, like, you know, little cuffs, the little sort of lapel details, you know, that always makes me so thrilled. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want any more videos from me and Liz, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you, Liz, for coming. Thank you and goodbye.